Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from a very warm and soon to be thunderstormy Menasha, Wisconsin. My Wednesday tip video, wait what? I thought I would touch on cardstock and the sizes of different layers today because I've been getting a lot of questions, and I think that if you are a seasoned stamper, you don't really think about this, but as I have more and more people that are subscribing to my YouTube channel, I've been getting a lot of questions about layers, sizes of layers, and how do you know what they are. And I had somebody who told me that their image didn't stamp the way my image stamped. What was going on? So I'm going to address some of those questions today in my Wait What? Wednesday tip video. We're going to go to my work surface now so we can get started. And if all of this is information that you know and you don't need to know, you might want to hang on till the end of the video because I have 20-something cards to show you that are made with products out of the holiday mini catalog. A couple Halloween, a few fall, and a whole bunch of Christmas to share with you, so hang tight. So I wanted to start off this video with some paper sizes because I think that is crucial to any stamper. This is our Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, and it has a really nice arm on it that pops out. You can go up to 14.5 inches on your paper size. It also has a scoring blade and a cutting blade. So one thing I wanted to show you is when you get ready to cut a card base, you start with an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. And if you would like a card that is going to be what we call landscape, you're going to cut your cardstock at 5.5 inches. That's going to give you 2 card bases that you're then going to fold. Now, if you want your card to be tall like this, and this we call portrait, you're going to cut your cardstock differently, but before you do that, you want to score it. And we're going to take it and score it at 5.5 inches with the scoring blade. Then we're going to turn it and put it into 4.25 inches and cut it, okay? Now, why did I score this one and not this one? Well, here's the deal. Did you know that paper has a grain? The grain of paper allows us to fold this one without any problem. And I can feel that the cardstock is nice and subtle. It's not pushing against me too much. But to take your cardstock and push it this way, you're going to get a lot more pushback from your cardstock. The grain of the paper does not like to fold this way like it does this way. So when you're doing a 5.5 by 8.5 inch card, which is what this size is, we've got 5.5 by 8.5. You need to just fold it in half and use a bone folder to get a good crisp fold on that card, okay? So that's going to be our landscape card this way or portrait this way, and it opens like this. Now, if you want a tall card like this, this is 4.25 by 11, and it just came from an 8.5 by 11 inch piece of cardstock. Cut it right down the middle at 4.25. You're going to need to score this at 5.5 inches, which is the center point, because the grain of the paper will not allow you to fold it without it getting all these wrinkles on the edge, and it won't look very nice. So just trust me on that one. So now you can use this as a portrait card, or you can turn it like this and use it as a landscape card. But do you see the difference between the two? Okay, so that's first. We've got 8.5 by 11 inches cut at 5.5, or 8.5 by 11 cut at 4.25, scored at 5.5. And that's pretty much the basics of making your card base, okay? Now, what about the layers that go on your card base? Whether your card is going to open like this or open like this, you're gonna need some layers on it, right? So I'm gonna take out a piece of Whisper White and I am going to cut that 1/4 inch smaller than the front of our card. The front of our card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So now I'm gonna take this piece and I'm gonna cut it 1/4 inch smaller at 5 1/4 by 4. That is going to layer directly on the front, leaving even spacing but an eighth of an inch around the outside here. Now, what if you want another layer on top of there? That's just gonna be another 1/4 of an inch smaller. So we're gonna go 3 3/4 by 5. And again, just 1/4 of an inch smaller for that next layer. And you just keep going however many layers that you want to put on here. Now, what you've often seen me do, I like to use smaller borders around my layers. So instead of cutting my white layer at 4 by 5 1/4, I would cut it at 3 7/8. So I'm just doing 1/8 of an inch by 5 1/8. Whoops, that got really crooked there. Hang tight. See if I can fix that. That's hard to fix when you do that. And now I've got a much smaller border. It's only 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch around the outside. And I don't know, I've just really been using that measurement a lot lately because I like that little tiny border, the white. It really makes your card pop. Okay, so now that we've gotten these layers down, we're gonna do first layer is going to be 5 1/4 by 4. Second layer is 5 by 3 3/4. And if you want that 1/16 of an inch, you're going to cut that first layer at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Make sense? I hope so. Now, there was one other thing I wanted to show you in this video. Let me put my paper cutter away here. By the way, if you need a paper cutter, I highly recommend this one. This is the Stampin' Trimmer from Stampin' Up. You can go right to my blog and place an order. In the right-hand column, there's an ordering button. It also has this handy-dandy compartment on the back where you can put your bone folder and extra blades or any type of little embellishments you'd like to keep with it. Like I said, it has this arm that extends out. And one of the really neat things that I like about it is you've got your scoring blade and your cutting blade, and both of these blades go off your cutting area, so I don't have to take one out to use the other. They both go off. And the other thing that's wonderful is if you like to travel with your paper cutter, you can lock this in place so it will not flop around and accidentally get broken when you're, you know, putting this in a container to take to a retreat or something. So it opens and it locks. Fabulous paper cutter. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to show you is the difference between cardstocks. Now, this may seem, you know, like, oh, I don't need to pay attention to that, but you really do. Because we have a particular cardstock here. I am using Whisper White Stampin' Up. And if you could feel these right now, this is a store brand. And I think it's Nina Bright. And you guys that are across the country and you buy Nina Bright, I live right next to Nina. This is where this paper is made. I live in paper mill country. Okay, so nothing against Nina paper. The paper's great for a lot of things. Stamping is not one of them. All right, so you can see the difference in the colors here. This is our Whisper White. This is a cheaper type of white cardstock. Now, one of the best ways to see the difference between the two is to get a bold image and stamp. So I'm using Mary Merlot, and I'm bringing in this bold flower from the Flourishing Phrases stamp set, and I am stamping these flowers. So I'm going to ink my Stamp Up good, and I'm going to stamp one of the flowers, and look how beautiful that is. Now we're going to do it on our white knockoff brand of cardstock. Can you see the difference? Can you see how porous this paper is compared to this very solid, beautiful stamped image? So I got an email from one of my good customers, and she said, Kelly, I am not getting the same results with the stamps that I just bought from you that you get on your videos. And so I started asking her a few questions. The first question that I asked her is, what type of cardstock are you stamping on? And that's when she told me that she was just using a white cardstock. And I said, is it Whisper White from Stampin' Up? And she said, no, it wasn't. And then I told her that is, I believe, what your problem is. So after a little convincing, she didn't really want to buy the white cardstock because she said that she was on a fixed income and didn't know that she could really afford it. I think our pack of 40 sheets is like $9, something like that. And that'll last you like so long, right? And so she finally did buy the cardstock, and she immediately opened the package when it came and tried the stamp. And it was one of our distinctive stamps that look like real life. And she got back to me and said, oh my gosh, I cannot believe the difference between the Whisper White and the other cardstock that I have. You're going to get the most beautiful images stamping on Whisper White. Now, our very vanilla cardstock is the same high quality as our Whisper White. So we have both of these, and these are the most wonderful layers to stamp on and get perfect images every time. So there's my little tip on cardstock, my tip on cutting layers for your card making. And now I'm going to show you a bunch of swap cards. Hang tight. Okay, you guys, here comes the swap cards. Let me see if I can zoom my camera in a little bit so you can see better. Here we go. All right, this is a really cute Halloween card. Look at that. And see how this goes right over the little cauldron, and then the die cut kitty, that slides right in there to keep it tucked in. This is super, super cute. Here is another adorable Halloween card. Isn't that fun? Using the layering squares. This is the scallop square and then the stitched shapes. Here's a beautiful fall card using the Pleasant Pheasants stamp set. Believe it or not, that's where these two images are coming from. Isn't this pretty? And this is actually an easel card that sits up like this. Gorgeous. And then we have our country home. Oh, this has been, I think, I have used this set so much. It's amazing. Chicken wire elements on the side here. Those are back ordered until October 22nd. So we've got another week and a half or so before those are going to be in store. But they're called chicken wire elements, and they add so much to a card. Very, very pretty. Oh, look, here's the little dimensional backing. Gorgeous, gorgeous card. And then the Winter Woods. Holy cow, look at all that color. What a unique card. This is so, so pretty. And we've got a little stamping on the inside. Here's another one made with the Winter Woods. Look at that. Christmas card. This is the new Swirls and Curls embossing folder, and these trees are silver embossed and use our silver and white baker's twine. Just very, very elegant. Here comes another beautiful card. Nice Christmas card, that gorgeous paper, and this is that tin tile embossing folder that is so very elegant. The tin tile, that's a very trendy, hot pattern right now. Here's another Christmas card, and I love these colors together. We've got basic gray with basic black, and I believe this is Tranquil Tide and copper with the designer series paper here. And again, this is the this uses the Winter Woods. I think that's the stamp set this tree comes from. So very pretty. Another gorgeous card, Joy to the World. Isn't this pretty? I love the way that that front panel covers up that inside panel there. Here comes some more copper. Again, copper is so trendy now. You guys are going to be like, holy cow, when I open this up. Ready? Isn't that gorgeous? It is so, so pretty. This is from the Snowflake Blizzard, I believe. Is that what it's called? Beautiful Blizzard. Beautiful Blizzard stamp set. Gorgeous. That's where these snowflakes are coming from. Again, with the designer paper called Joyous Noel. Gorgeous. All right. And then we have the Dashing Deer. And isn't that fun? Oh, I see this one got a little wrinkled there. I think these snowflakes are again from that Beautiful Blizzard stamp set or framelit set, thinlit set. But the deer, beautiful. Here's a gorgeous one. This is the Bauble stamp set, and that's where this die is coming from, that bundle. Isn't this just gorgeous? There's a little bit of that designer series paper in there. And look at, I've made these cards for you guys before. So you should be able to find them on my YouTube channel, but they're super, super fun and easy. And then we've got May Your Christmas Be Bright. And isn't that pretty? This uses the flocked Santa paper. Gorgeous. Some of those red rhinestones. Love those. Here comes some more red rhinestones, and I really like the early espresso with the garden green. And then this is Poppy Parade ribbon. That looks red. You think of Poppy Parade as a bright orange, but it really does look red here. This uses the Wishing You Well stamp set, and that's where that pretty bow comes from. And one of the little embellishments here. Here comes another one, and isn't this pretty? This is from the Merry Christmas Thinlits. Love this. That gorgeous, gorgeous paper. And I thought this was interesting. This is the Best Route embossing folder. That's not what it's called. I think I just got that one. Find it here. It is called Maps, Etc. And it's one of our dynamic folders. And isn't that interesting on this Christmas card? I thought it was very, very cool. Here's another one of those fun fold cards. Gorgeous. And then the Bulb Builder Punch. Christmas Bulb Builder Punch. Isn't this cool, you guys? This is just really neat. We've got a punch that punches all these little bulbs out. And again, with the beautiful paper. Here's another gorgeous card. This was a fun fold swap. So that's why we're getting so many fun folds. And this is that Dashing Deer. And here comes another one. And isn't this gorgeous? Again, with the tin tile folder. This is the galvanized metallic paper. And I love the droplets that are here under the Merry Christmas. And then she also put some Wink of Stella on this beautiful poinsettia. Very, very pretty. Here comes another one of those fun fold cards. Isn't that just gorgeous? The paper just really does it. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, you guys, that is a whole swap that I just shared with you. I hope you enjoyed that. If you need to place any orders, you can find my online store in the right-hand column. You just go to www.astampabove.com. I always appreciate your orders. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please feel free to pop me an email at kelly@astampabove.com. I would love to send you the new catalogs. Don't forget to click down here to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and up here will take you right to my blog where you can check out all my other projects. I also have online classes on there. You'll find an online class button in the right-hand column. Go check those out. When you order the bundles from me, you get the classes for free. If you're a demonstrator and you don't want to order from me, you can still buy the classes from me. Wishing you guys a fabulous Wednesday. Bye-bye.